Hello and welcome to Urban Green, where we spotlight South Sound environmental efforts and showcase different ways to get involved in sustainable living practices. I'm your host, Stacey Ellifrit, and today we're coming to you from scenic Titlow Park. This springtime edition starts with the Urban Learning segment, where we celebrate the 50th anniversary of Earth Day with a tree hugging event.
The first Earth Day was celebrated 50 years ago. In 1970, millions of concerned community members from cities all across the United States took action for the future of our planet.
Things were really in bad shape in the environment. There was smog covering our big cities. People actually wore masks when they walked through LA. It was that bad. Rivers were catching on fire in the Midwest. There's so many horror stories of the damage that we had been doing to the environment. So it was a real call to action. People rallied and spoke up and said, no more, we're going to fix our planet.
Following the celebration of the first Earth Day, important environmental legislation was enacted. There have been some clear improvements since the initial observance.
There is a long way we still have to go. We know there's problems today continuing. Loss of habitat, climate change certainly is one of the biggest ones. Plastics in the ocean. There's a lot we need to do. So we decided to take action here in the South Sound. We've got a group of partners that we have gathered together and we have created an initiative called Earth Day South Sound 2020.
The goal of the initiative is to unite the community in collective stewardship action that will encourage tree planting and care.
We are going to do a community-wide tree hug. We want people to show their love for trees, right? So what better way than to have everybody hug on Earth Day? So we're going to have a social media campaign. It's called the South Sound Tree Hug. So we're encouraging everyone to hug a tree on that day, take a picture, post it on our social media with that hashtag.
By visiting the Earth Day South Sound site, the community can also make their pledge to hug a tree on Earth Day. But there are even more ways to celebrate all year long.
Well, there are so many opportunities. It's almost a matter of like, how do I choose, right? But starting with the tree hug, making a pledge, or some sort of commitment to an action. As I said, we're recommitting. Part of our Earth Day South Sound, one of the ways that we're really connecting people to trees is through this idea of a healthy tree for every child in South Sound. And then just trying to really invite this idea that trees are growing as our children, and we kind of have this constant care that comes with that and loving attention.
The community can learn more about everything that's going on by visiting earthdaysouthsound.org. Check out upcoming events and get involved in opportunities to take action.
Well, I think one of the things that's really great about this opportunity isn't just the one-day event. We have this big event on April 22nd, but then there's all these opportunities to do things and continue to do things, not just in this year, but ongoing. So you just want to build a lot of momentum around the idea of caring for trees and each other.
To find out more about this Earth Day event and how to celebrate all year long, visit the event site. Up next, the Urban Tabletop segment features Jan Parker Cookery, where we get a fresh and tasty take on making lumpia.
I'm Jan Parker, and I'm the chef owner of Jan Parker Cookery, and I sell fresh and distinct Filipino food at the local farmers markets such as Proctor and the Broadway Farmers Markets. Today, I'm going to be demonstrating how to make lumpia sariwa, which is a delicacy from the Philippines. Typically, the lumpia that you know is fried, but today we're going to be making a fresh wrapper from the eggs from Zestful Gardens, and we're going to be filling it with lovely sauteed spring ingredients here from our local farmers and sauteing this up. Then we're going to garnish it and roast our own peanuts and add these lovely microgreens. I'm going to go over our ingredients. So what we have here are leeks, and we have bok choy and carrots. We also have some squash, and we have this lovely fresh garlic, and we also have Rosa de Milano. This is an onion that as you let it cure for longer and as you keep it in its skin, it actually gets sweeter. And it's an heirloom type of onion. It's very delicious. I also have sango de radish, and this is flavorful, it's crisp, and it tastes just like radish. So I'm gonna go ahead and put together the batter for our fresh lumpia, and it's very easy. All you need is a food processor. You need a cup of flour. You need 2 fresh farm eggs, a pinch of salt, some oil. I like to use extra virgin olive oil. just adds that extra flavor. And also, you can use milk or an alternative milk option. So I have about 1.5 cups of milk here, and I'm gonna go ahead and process this until it's a nice smooth batter. So all we have to do now is go ahead and saute our ingredients here and cook our wrappers, create our sauce, and then after that we're gonna assemble this and enjoy this nice, fresh, lovely delicacy. So the first thing I'm gonna do is start on the sauteed vegetables. The beautiful thing about sauteing things is that when you get that nice color, you're actually adding an extra layer of flavor. So you're adding more depth to your dish. Great, these are nice and toasty, as you can see the color on there. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add the leeks. That sizzle is beautiful. That means the pan's nice and hot and you're adding more flavor, and you can smell the leeks. I'm gonna add the carrots. These will add a nice pop of color and another texture, as well as the Rosa di Milano onions from Zestful Gardens. Also gonna add the garlic. All these flavors, it's gonna be a beautiful mouthful. The beautiful thing about sourcing local produce here in Tacoma is that you'll see the difference when you pick up your vegetables from the farmer's market. Not everything is gonna look perfect, but I guarantee you that everything is gonna taste like no other vegetable that you've ever had before. It's gonna be at its peak. It's very seasonally driven here at the farmer's market, so everything's gonna taste as it's supposed to. So that's why I recommend that you go to local farmers markets for your fruits and vegetables. Okay, so this is ready. The only thing I have to do at this point is season it. In the Philippines, we like to use soy sauce and fish sauce for salinity. Today I'm gonna go ahead and add the soy sauce. This will add a nice salty flavor as well as tying everything together. So to start the wrapper, we're gonna actually add a little bit of oil. We're gonna move it around, and our pan is on a medium-low heat. We're gonna add the wrapper. I would say about 1/2 cup. And so as you can see with this wrapper, there's a nice sheen to this. What's gonna happen is the indicator of it being cooked is it's gonna get dull. The beautiful thing about this lumpia wrapper is you actually don't have to flip it. And so the sauce is very easy. All it requires is water and soy sauce. And we're gonna also add some garlic. Add those aromatics to add another layer of flavor. It's gonna have a little bit of sweetness. So it's gonna have the brown sugar. And then what we're gonna do is once this is all simmering, we're gonna add a slurry of cornstarch, and then it'll thicken up. So another part of this recipe is roasting peanuts. What we've done here is we've cooked these peanuts at a medium-low heat, and this will just add another texture to the whole dish. So these are nice and finished. You have this nice color on the peanuts, so that'll be very tasty. And as you can see here, this is ready to add the slurry of our cornstarch and water. And you're simply gonna add this to this soy sauce, water, and brown sugar mixture. And this will start to thicken up. Look at how beautiful this is, how shiny it is. This is gonna look very beautiful on top of our lumpia. I think it's time to celebrate because we're transitioning from winter to spring. So we're gonna elevate this dish a little more. We're gonna add these local shrimp from Oregon. We're gonna add a few of those. These are already cooked, so you can just simply toss them into this lovely mix of garlic, onions, bok choy, squash, and the carrots. And so what we're gonna do now is actually plate this up. We're gonna place the filling inside the lumpia. And I like to get my greens from Share Their Wealth Organics because each of these greens are unique. When you get your greens from a farmer, they're gonna actually not look the same from when you buy them at the store, and the flavor is unbelievable. It is truly farm fresh. So we're gonna place a few greens here just to add a little bit of texture and also add more depth to the dish. We're gonna fold the bottom part up and then roll. And here we have it, our lumpia sariwa. So what we need to do now is actually place this on a plate. So the next step is to actually put this lovely sauce that we made. Literally took us 2 minutes. In this sauce is soy sauce, water, a cornstarch slurry, garlic, and brown sugar. So it's going to be very salty and sweet. Along with these fresh vegetables, this is going to be the best dish to have on a nice warm spring day. This isn't finished yet, so we're actually going to add more flavor. We're going to add these beautiful Sango purple radish microgreens, and this is going to add extra layer of flavor and also add that beautiful color that you want to see because you're going from winter to spring, so you need that pop of color. Excellent. And I'm just going to go ahead and garnish this with these lovely toasted peanuts. My goodness, I'm ready to eat this. This smells so good, and it also looks good. I just wanted to remind you that you can also make this a vegan or vegetarian dish. So you can substitute with an egg substitute as well as a milk substitute. And so this is a dish for all. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Jan Parker and I'm the chef owner of Jan Parker Cookery. I hope that you'll come and see me in Tacoma.
You could find Jan Parker Cookery at the Broadway and Proctor Farmers Markets, Tacoma Night Market, and other seasonal markets throughout the year. After the break, we'll visit with a local haven for bird and nature lovers. But first, the Urban Quick Tip will demonstrate how to make a natural drain cleaner. Welcome back. Now we visit an organization that advocates for the protection of wildlife and promotes conservation through education and activities.
If you walked into a forest and didn't hear birds, how strange that would be.
Tucked away in a quiet neighborhood is a preserve for bird and nature lovers. With a member base of 500 and a touch point of about 2,000 residents, the Tahoma Audubon Society works to strengthen conservation efforts for the benefit of the environment and all community members.
We are a 50-year-old organization now serving all of Pierce County. We work to connect people to nature and the environment through birding, education, and recreation.
With a wide variety of educational opportunities for people of all ages, there is sure to be an event that fits many interests.
Our education is 2-year-old and on up. We run preschool science education classes at the Tacoma Nature Center. We have preschool summer camps here. We offer a in-school program called Explore the Salish Sea, and that's for 3rd and 4th graders. It's about watershed health. And then we also have adult birding classes.
The Society also offers monthly bird walks, as well as special events such as bird counts, a birdathon, and an annual summer picnic.
A good way to keep in touch with all that's going on is we have a calendar on our website that we update regularly, and kind of things are always coming up. We also have the set schedule of walks and things as well.
Many of these events are made possible through the efforts of dedicated volunteers. With only a staff of 2 at the Society, everything else that is done is volunteer-based.
We're a membership organization, but also I think one of the major ways that a lot of people get involved with Tahoma Audubon is by volunteering. Something that our volunteers do is they really have the autonomy to help them fulfill their learning opportunities and to build these skill sets that they're wanting to do with taking on projects. The other thing about how people can get involved with us is we really want to have these spaces that we're stewarding be destinations and be activated in positive ways. So Adriana Hassan University Place is a really great destination. People can come and walk the trails, go on bird walks. You can rent binoculars when we're open, which is Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in our offices.
Opportunities reach out all over Pierce County, from Morse Wildlife Preserve in Graham for self-guided tours to yoga with the birds at Titlow Beach. Any of these types of events gives the opportunity for special sightings.
Something I would just say about this area in general, the Puget Sound area, that is so special is the waterfowl that come through. At Titlow specifically, if you go out and look up on the pilings that are out there, there are these bird boxes that are out there, and they're specifically for purple martins. They migrate down the Puget Sound, and they like their house is built for them already. So back in the 1970s, we have some founding members that actually kind of hiked up onto the pilings with their tree climbing gear and put up the first 4 bird boxes that are actually there still.
Besides getting out for exercise and fresh air, there are many benefits of connecting with local wildlife through bird watching.
In our Tahoma Audubon, I think that it's a commonality among people, and it's a connection. And I think that it's a way that people connect to people, but also a way that they're connecting to their environment around them.
To find out more about the Tahoma Audubon Society and participate in one of the many opportunities they offer, visit their site. Coming up next is the Urban How-To. This do-it-yourself segment will demonstrate the ins and outs of drip irrigation.
If you're just beginning with drip irrigation, my suggestion is that you maybe start with a drip kit like this one. They have all the components that you might need to set up a smaller drip irrigation system. And I've got a couple here that I've patched together, but some of the main components that are really important are these here. So what I've started with here, first, you've got your backflow reducer. Now this is really important because it completely eliminates the chance that water will come from out in your system back through into your drinking water system. So this part is really important. The second component here is a pressure reducer. So this just makes it so the water coming out will not be coming out so fast that it blows any of your drippers off of your line. The third component is a filter, and it just reduces debris. If there's anything in your water, you don't want it to get out into your system and clog your drippers. And all of these will come with most of your drip irrigation kits that you might get at your local hardware store. The next portion is the main line. You'll have your main line that will run the water out to the various pieces that you might want in your irrigation system. So this is pretty easy. You'll just stick it right in, and now you can run water, just like a hose, out through your system. Now for this example today, I'm going to use our herbs here as our plants that we'd like to irrigate. And what I'll do is I can punch using this puncher that, again, comes with your kit, and I can punch right in and create just a little hole. And my dripper goes right into that hole. Your drip kit will come with several different types usually that you can use on different plants with different water needs. So for example, and I have different types of plants. Some of those plants will need 1 gallon per hour, 2 gallons per hour. depending on what type of plants they are. So this way, I can use the same main line and I can plug in different drippers for my different plants on that line. Another thing I can do is I can add microtubing. So this microtube will just allow me to have a greater versatility in where I can go off of my main line to get to my different plants. So I have little connectors, again, that would come with any kit that you'd get, and I plug those onto my microtubing, and then I plug them just directly into my main line. And from here, I can cut the length that I need and just pop a dripper on the end. What I can do is I can stake them down to have them stay where I want. So there may be some times when you'd like a little more flow or a different type of flow than you might get from your drippers. One thing that you can have available to you is something called a micro sprinkler. And that's something that might look like this here. So this sprinkler basically sprinkles just a little bit of water. It's not like a big sprinkler that you'd see on a lawn. And it comes with its own stake, and you can just stake it in the ground where you'd like it. And then to connect it to your drip system, you use just the same methods that you would for any of your drippers. You take your micro tubing and you cut it to the length that you like. You punch in, and I'm going to just remove this one. So for the same thing, I would attach my connector to my micro tubing. I'd punch it in to my main line, and then I connect this micro tubing in the same way as a dripper up to my micro sprinkler. And I stake it in the ground, and I'm done. So now I have a line here that has drippers, it has micro sprinklers, and all of these are on my pressure regulated system so that none of the heads will pop off and everything will be functioning as it should be according to the manufacturer. So once you've got all your drippers and all your micro sprinklers in place that you'd like, what you're going to want to do first is to flush the system. So in order to flush the system, you leave your end open and you just run water for a second to flush out any debris that might be in your system. So I'm going to turn the water on here. We'll see the water's coming out, and that's probably just right, just to get any dirt there. Now, I want to close my system, because I don't want water running out here. To do that, really simple. Your kit will come with something like this, and you'll thread it on the line. Then you'll just fold over your main line and put the other part through. And we've capped our system here. Now, if I want to run it, I turn the water on again. And I have my sprinkler, I have my dripper, and anything else that's on the line. I want to make sure that my sprinkler here is going in the direction that I want it, and this can hit any number of plants that I might have in this area.
These how-tos were created in partnership with the EnviroHouse Free Workshop Series, designed to support healthy and sustainable homes and gardens. For a full listing of workshops or to plan a visit, check out the city site. Thank you for joining me for this edition of Urban Green. I'm your host, Stacey Ellifrit, leaving you with more ways to engage in sustainable practices that are right for your lifestyle.